Well, guys, you got a video yesterday that you weren't expecting because I had a box of stuff come in. So today we are going to discuss large versus small knives. So you guys know what time it is. Turn down the volume because here comes a little bit of music. So I know you guys have heard me say a bunch of times that I am starting to gravitate towards smaller knives. So you can see that this knife and this knife are way different, but I wanted to give you a little bit of reasons why. So, you know, there's a lot of reasons why a smaller knife might be more useful and things like that, but I have a few specific reasons why I've started to gravitate towards smaller knives. They just seem to have an all-around better usefulness, in my opinion, right now. But before we go any further, go check out my buddy Paulie's channel, Purple Heart Barbecue. This is his logo behind me. Go check his channel out. It's a lot of fun. I've known Paulie for years. He worked for me when we were Lockheed Martin. He was one of the federal police officers on the base. Really a good guy. I've known him for a long time. You've seen him in the live feed. So go get him checked out so he can start monetizing his content. So, all right, guys, let's take a look at this stuff from above so I can give you some reasons. So guys, like I said, we are going to talk about large knives versus small knives. Now, I'm not saying that there is a perfect case scenario where any one knife is going to be the ultimate end all be all, but we can talk about the various different reasons why I've kind of gravitated lately to smaller EDC items. As you can see, these are things that are typically in my day-to-day carry. Now, I can't say that it's always like that because I carry my Grimsmo daily. A lot of times I have a large knife and a small knife in my pocket. But lately, the knives that I really have kind of gravitated to have been in the size range of the Rhea or the Osprey. They're pretty similar in size. This one's a little bit larger, so that you're looking, this one's 7, and the Rhea is just shy of 7, 6 3/4 maybe. Now, the reason that someone may pick a smaller knife over a larger knife is because, well, like I said in the 5 Fast we did the other day, a knife like this, which is, well, about 10 inches on the mat. The reason someone may pick something smaller over something like this is where they work. If you work inside an office building, this might not be the knife for you. There's a couple other reasons. One of the big reasons I've noticed is as I've gotten older, there's a lot of things that I don't do anymore that I used to when I was younger. When I was in the military, I would have wanted something more along these lines that could have done larger tasks, but still been done, do some relatively detailed work. Now that I'm retired from the military and I don't do too much, I'm not out and about. I'm not an outdoorsman like I used to be. Something that's in this size range, I find might meet my needs a little bit better. Something this size, I can get up on and do small, fine detail work. And one of the other reasons is I have lost some of my finer motor functions for some things. I've had nerve damage. I do have some carpal tunnel going. It doesn't affect the sharpening, but it definitely affects my ability to manipulate a larger thing like this. Once that tip gets kind of far out, you may have noticed I have there's some shake in my hands these days, and that comes from some nerve damage and some carpal tunnel. So for me to control a knife that's larger like this, not as easy as say something like this, where the amount of vibration or the little bit of palsy or whatever you want to call it that I have doesn't affect the amount of movement in that knife as much because it's more amplified at a larger point. It is much easier to get up and do fine detail work on something with a smaller knife. You want to get as close to it as you can, but still be comfortable. If I tried to do that on, say, this knife and wanted to get way up on it, can you see where I have to get? I'm putting myself up here on the very edge of the knife. Now, if you know how sharp I keep my knives, you're going to know that that's probably not the best place. Now, I can get all the way up here and do it, but it's not as good as if I have a smaller grip. So if you look, the blade on that knife is just almost the size. I mean, look at that. It is huge. So this knife, I can get way up on and do some finer detail work. Smaller knives like this. This was a gift from my father. This is great. I can get right up in on it. You see how much better that smaller knife is for a lot of the small tasks. I can still get a full bite on it. I can still get a full grip. Now, I did say I carry a large knife and a small knife. There's a lot of times that if I'm cutting down like a big box cardboard, this is what I'm going to go for because it has a broader blade. I got more, you know, as I draw cut, I have more distance that I can cover on a draw cut. And as you can see, this knife gets used a lot. There's some scratches and stuff on it from cutting through cardboard, things like that. So it's just one of those things, like if I can get up on my work to do detail stuff, that's great. Now there are a lot of times, like I said, if I'm doing some heavy cutting, I'm going to want something like this. This knife kind of gets where I want. Now, the nice thing about this one is this knife actually does have an area where I can get in and use it for detail stuff like that. But, you know, it's all a personal preference thing. So I've kind of started to get away from these larger knives because the majority of the tasks that I'm doing now around the house and things like that are better suited for a smaller knife. This QSP Penguin is great for small little detail work. I think Jared over at Neve's Knives did a video where he was talking about knives that are great for like detail cutting, for like cutting out patterns and things like that. This would be one of those knives, and I believe he said the QSP Penguin was a great knife for that. I recently got this Osprey in from Eric Oakes, from the designer, and I've used it enough. I've had to sharpen it twice, and I like this one because I can get way up on it and still have some belly. Like if I'm wanting to do some detail cutting, I used this in the kitchen the other day to actually cut silver skin and fat off of a pork loin. And then I cut basically I made some pork cutlets from a pork tenderloin and flattened them out and cooked them. And this was great for that because I could get up on it and do some fine detail cutting that I might not have want to used like a large boning knife or things like that. And the other reason a smaller knife carries so much easier. As I've gotten older, you know, I'm starting to get a gut as I've gotten older. I'm 47. I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. And, you know, you sit down and it can be uncomfortable to carry a larger knife. This knife carries nice and low. It doesn't dig into my, it doesn't dig into my abdomen. It doesn't dig into my thigh. And it's so much lighter. Well, I mean, granted, this is a fairly light knife. But there's a lot of times where a smaller knife lately has fit the bill. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love these big knives. I did a whole video about like why, you know, there should be no stigma about larger knives. So hang on just a second. Sorry about that, guys. That was Nick Shabazz. He just sent me a message. I wanted to see what it was. I didn't know if he needed something. But like I said, I love this knife. I just did a video the other day where I was talking about knives too large to carry. And I specifically said, I don't understand the whole stigma behind carrying a larger knife. This is that Megaron Valona. And I just sharpened this, guys. I got to tell you, when you guys going to see something in a video that is just nuts. Or if you've already seen it on my reels, this knife is incredible. You can use it for a lot of things that I can't use this for. But typically, I don't have those tasks on a day-to-day basis. But the fact is, I'm one of those guys. I'm a big guy. I'll carry two knives. I can carry this and this. So, you know, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying that, you know, there are a lot of tasks day-to-day that a smaller knife fits all of my needs. More often than not, this knife will fit all of my needs better than this one will. As much as I love carrying these, and I've been carrying this and this, there's a good chance that I could get by and just only carry this knife 99% of the time. And that's kind of why I've started to get back to some of these smaller knives. I had carried large knives for a long time, and I started getting some smaller ones in, and I said, wow, I forgot how useful a nice little knife can be. So guys, that's it. I just kind of wanted to touch on it because it was something that got brought up in the last video that I did before yesterday's unboxing. So Monday for you guys, Sunday for me. Don't take too much time off. I was going to not film anything today, but I changed my mind. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. So like I said, guys, there's a lot of valid reasons to have either a large knife or a small knife. Sometimes I carry both because you never know what situation you're going to be in. So they're both viable options for carry. But sometimes just a smaller knife helps you do some of the tasks that you have to do in day-to-day life a little bit better. So guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as sharing the channel like I did with my buddy Polly's and like other channels have been doing lately to get for this big giveaway that Jared's doing. It helps push channels up the algorithm, and liking, subscribing, and sharing the videos absolutely is one of the best ways you can help. If you do want to support the channel financially, however, down in the description below is my join tab. It is one of the best ways to support the channel because it financially directly supports the channel. It gets you in on early access to video, exclusive content based on tier, discounts on sharpening for all tiers, and if you're a premium tier member, you get access to a sharpening tutorial series I've been doing. I also have affiliate links down below at multiple places, including Amazon. Anything you buy through those affiliates does not add anything to the cost of your item, but it does give me a portion of that sale and it helps support the channel. And the final way is I do have a merchandise store. As you can see, some of my merch. It's on Ember Shirt Co. I've built a coupon code for you guys on Ember Shirt Co. It is CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, all one word, CrazySharp. It saves you 10% at checkout anywhere on Ember Shirt Co., anything you buy there. So, guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. It helps me moderate the channel. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.